hadn't somehow beaten me here or followed me. I had to hurry. Who knew how much longer his ship would last? I knocked on the door, and Mrs. K opened up. "Hello, Xander," he said cheerfully. "Hi, Mrs. K. Can I come in?" 5 minutes later, I was rifling through David's room. I had to hurry. I had to find something useful and fast. I told Mrs. K that years ago, I let David borrow a video game and just now remembered and wanted to pick it up. She'd happily let me go into his room and find it. I had booted up his ancient laptop, and it was taking forever to load. Why the hell hadn't he bought a new laptop with all the money that he stole? That would have made good evidence. I glanced at every paper I saw, hoping for something, written plans, a checklist, a receipt, anything. Every paper I found was normal. And I could see his room was a disaster, which worked in my favor. He may have dropped something incriminating and not included it. I stuffed every flash drive I could find into my pockets as I went. He had 4 of them lying around. They must have incriminating evidence on them. The laptop finally booted, and I instantly tried to log in. No luck. Password protected. I should have known. Considering how tech-savvy he'd been hacking my accounts. In fact, all the incriminating data was probably on the laptop. Wouldn't bother printing anything out. That gave me an idea. I picked up a laptop and flipped it over. A toolbox laid under the table, and I snatched a screwdriver from it. Using the screwdriver, I went to work disassembling the laptop, and when I finished, I held his hard drive up in my hand. "I'll ruin you, David King," I whispered. As I reassembled the laptop, something caught my eye under the bed. Box. Following my eyebrows, I pulled it towards me. It was a shoebox with dust covering the top. A few spots were left dusty where someone had handled the lid. I opened it slowly, peered inside. It contained a 1/4-inch thick stack of papers, all bound together by a bicycle. The box was too small to let the pad lay flat, so it curled in the box. The pages were old and worn and had clearly been handled frequently. I lifted it out and noticed that it looked like a research paper. The front page had a title in the middle of the page and an author at the bottom. Psychological Evaluation for David Edward King. The bottom of the page had the name of the institute and psychologist that had done the study as well as the year. I did the math, and the evaluation must have been done when he was 16. Jackpot. I stuffed it under my shirt as best as I could to hide its square form. The laptop was set back in its place as if it had never moved. David would know something was wrong eventually, but not until he booted it up. I gave a last look around and wondered if there was anything else I should do. With no decent ideas, I left David's house. Mrs. K gave me a brownie on my way out. On the drive back to Walmart, I tried to come up with a plan. I couldn't take this to the police station because it was illegally obtained evidence. It wouldn't be admissible in court. I knew that from a bunch of crime shows, I had to get at the evidence myself and somehow get it into the police's hands legally. When I parked at the Walmart, it still wasn't that late. I walked inside carrying flash drives and psychological evaluation with me. I used the demo computers to look at the contents of the flash drives. Looking back now, I'm amazed they let USB sticks work on the demo machines. The first flash drive had old high school papers on it. Nothing useful there. The second and third were bootable drives that could boot Linux. I didn't expect anyone to understand what that means. It's not important. But it was the fourth drive that I had my first breakthrough of evidence. It contained a single text file that had been edited the day before. As I read through it, I realized that it was a conversation. With my current understanding, the flash drive was how David and his kidnapping partner had been communicating. David would write a message and hide the flash drive in a predetermined place. Then the kidnapper would go pick it up and read the message. The process would reverse when the kidnapper had a message to pass along. A lot of you will probably say, why wouldn't they just encrypt the emails? That's so much faster and safer. If they have to use any kind of network to communicate, some internet service provider or some cell phone provider like Comcast would have a log entry of the messages being exchanged. Even if the data was encrypted, encrypted data is never 100% secure. If you dedicate enough processing power, you can crack any encryption. It may take thousands of years in some cases, but it could still be cracked. With our current advances in computing power, that could change to be even faster. David and his partner have reduced their risk of being caught by limiting who had access to the information. If you send an email to me via Reddit, I'm not the only one who gets the message. It passes through several servers and routers who all make a note that a message passed through at a specific time. It leaves a trail. Unless you can erase the logs of those servers, you leave a trail no matter how you send your data. There was certainly risk that someone could find the flash drive, plug it in, and find all of this data like I had, but that could be reduced by choosing decent